in cosplay.
I'm Ray Rondo. I'm from several things, including 12E and House of Heaven and cosplay.
And we're here to talk about cosplay presentation. Let's start off with talking about what is cosplay presentation. Presenting yourself in cosplay. Basically, the cosplay presentation is going on stage, presenting your outfit to the audience, being in character, being off stage, being in character, and basically walking around the con in an outfit and how you want to present yourself in that outfit. You may be like, well, you know, that's pretty obvious. You put on an outfit, you walk around, I'm done. But there are some little do's and don'ts about presenting yourself, especially while you're in a costume, both on and off the stage. We're here to talk about them and what is the point of it, as in like if you're on stage to win awards and things, to wow the audience, and then being off stage to basically keep others from like talking about you, that person was doing something weird, and how to keep that from happening. So let's start off with on stage. Okay. All right. So does everybody here know what a walk-on is? Does anybody here know what a skit is?
There we go.
Okay. A walk-on for the cosplay competition is basically where you have the stage and you walk onto the stage, present yourself, and then walk off the stage. That's presentation. And then a skit is where you actually interact, do something.
Yeah.
And then walk off the stage. So that's basically your presentation and your skits. I mean your walk-ons and your skits. Now the presentation part about that is how you basically present your character, how you come off in your outfit. For example, you don't want to be going on stage as Sephiroth
And doing this.
then like wait,
Or being
and then run off stage because people will be like, wait, was that Sephiroth or another silver-haired character with the long sword from another RPG? Because there's like 20 of them. But you want to go on stage acting like your character. You want to stay in character. You also want to, well, a walk-on, you have 30 seconds, a full 30 seconds. You want to go on stage and use those 30 seconds to your full advantage. You want to pose at least 3 different ways, and you want to give the photographers an opportunity to actually take your photo. Because one of the greatest complaints that we hear from photographers is somebody will go on stage, run across the stage, and like go off stage, and before they can even focus, they're like, where'd that entrant go? And then they don't have like the ability to take photos of you, which won't go on the website, won't go all over the internet, etc., etc. So you want to give them time to do that as well. Likewise with the skit, you want to stay in character or in the character that you do while you're doing your skit. Oftentimes we'll see people go up on stage like in skits and it's their role to speak and you can tell that they're supposed to have like a really perky role and then they just sort of like have their back to the audience, mumbling in this direction, kind of not even moving. And you're like, was that character even talking at all? Like, what just happened? And then they'll run off stage and you're like, was that a skit or a walk-on? What just happened? So you want to be able to exaggerate your movements on stage. If you're talking, you want to talk like this with your arm movements. If you're not talking, you want to stay still. When it's your turn to talk,
I will take over the world and bring forth a new golden age.
and now it's my turn to talk, so now it's my turn to move my arms as I talk and stuff like that. You see how your attention goes to me, and your attention goes away, and then it switches back and forth. So whenever you're on stage, and you want the focus on you when you're speaking, you want to move, you want to present yourself, and everything is exaggerated movements, because when people are sitting really far away in the audience, they can't really see your mouth moving, so they perceive who's talking, whose role it is on the stage by your movements. Same with a walk-on. Everything that you do when you go on stage is exaggerated. Ray Rondo's actually won a lot of awards just by her stage presence on a walk-on. Because she'll come on with amazing outfits, mind you. And do you want to do?
I can actually do a model.
Yeah, do it. Okay, so this is a model one. I'll be the MC, and I'll be like, all right, now presenting Ray Rondo. some character. Whee! And that right there is your basic walk-on. You want to make large movements, very exaggerated, and that right there will give you lots of bonus points from the judges in the presentation categories.
My clothes is not supposed to come off, so we can talk about that too.
There you go. Oh yeah, okay, tell them about that.
Okay, so when something happens on stage, this cloak is not supposed to come off. But
Wait, who here could tell that the cloak was not supposed to come off? Exactly, you couldn't.
So if something happens, go with it. Because the only way people will know it wasn't supposed to happen is if you let it be known that it was not supposed to happen.
There was one skit, it was a skit. There was one skit that I saw one time where this girl's wig fell. And you know, normally people would be like, ah, oh no, my life is ruined, and run off stage or something. But what she did was the wig fell, and then she was like, oh no, you know, the audience is about to discover my secret identity. And then she went down, like, put it back on while her friend, like, jumped in front, so like, I'm a distraction, you know, so like, it looked like it was part of the skit. It wasn't until afterwards, and they won, it wasn't until afterwards that they came up to us and they're like, yeah, her wig fell off, and we didn't know what to do, so we just ran with it, and we're like, whoa. You mean that wasn't a part of your skit? And they're like, no, that was an accident. And we're like, oh, you know, they did such an amazing job at covering for it. It looked like it just flawlessly went with the skit. And we're like, wow, that was a really cool thing that you added to your skit. You know, like, wow, breaking the, you know, the third wall and making it look like you knew your audience was there. And like, oh, that was really cool. And like, yeah, that was a total accident. We're like, oh, you know, stuff like that. You wanna, it's what you call a happy mistake. You wanna just run with little events like that. Let's talk about offstage.
Yes.
Okay, now this is the biggest part of the con, is how to present yourself when you're off stage. So you're just walking around the con.
How are you? Thank you so much.
And you're being in character. Because sometimes you'll find people, like, has anybody seen the Silent Hill nurse? She's like dressed up in a nurse outfit, her head is wrapped up, and she's kind of just walking around like this through the con. She does that all through the con, and we're just marveling at the fact that she can actually stay in character the entire time through the con like that. We're like, oh my god, you know, how is she, like, her back not breaking as she's just walking around the con like this? And it's just amazing that you can actually stay in character like that. But then sometimes you'll come up to a character who's in the anime or in the video game, they just generally have a really bad attitude. And you'll meet them in person and they'll be in character in a bad attitude and like start like being all mean and everything, and you're like, whoa, dude, that's not cool, you know? There's a certain level that you don't want to cross, where you want to be in character to a point where it's not obnoxious. And once it goes past that point, you're like, okay, you need to be in character, and then
I kind of have a rule for it since I
go for it.
cosplay so many jerks. What I do is that I do a neutral sort of them in a happier, civil mood. And if another cosplayer comes up to me and acts in character with me, then I take that as an invitation to go full on jerk, whatever, because they instigated, so you're not being a jerk. Everyone knows that you're just acting in character.
And let's see, what was okay, Johnny actually cosplays what's his name? Jan Valentine Helsing. I don't know if anybody knows who that character is, but in the anime, he basically every second or third word is a cuss word, and he just goes around like just killing people and stuff, acting all loudmouth and obnoxious. And he cosplayed this character, and for like an hour of the con, when he first put it on, he went down into the hallways and he's like, oh yeah, filthy, filthy, bleep, bleep, filthy, filthy, oh, I'm gonna kill you, filthy, filthy, bleep, bleep, bleep. And we're like, dude, I love you, but calm down. Well, at least the girl that was with him kept telling him, like, stop it, you're calling attention to yourself. And he's like, no, these bleep, 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 know what to do, bleep, 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 just like shooting everything. And you know, we're like, okay, that was really cool, but after about an hour, he couldn't keep it up anymore because, you know, people were starting to like get annoyed and stuff. And so you want to know where that boundary is with your presentation. Another thing is let's just go over photos.
Yes.
This is a big part of like the con. Not so much presentation, but just something you should know.
You're presenting in standpoint.
Yes, exactly. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of photographers and people out there with cameras who just want to take your photo. There you go, see there's one. Hi! And they're usually gonna come up to you and say, hey, can I take your photo? And you'll be like, yay! In your head and be like, yes, of course you can, in real life. And so then what you would want to do is, and then they'll take your photo, you thank them,
Thanks so much, Hack.
and they're like, thank you, and then they'll walk away. That is the interaction between the photographer and the cosplayer. It's very calm, very, subtle, and you want to make sure that you do it out of the hallway.
Yes.
The worst thing you can do is block off traffic in the middle of a hallway by trying to pose, because your photo is going to come out bad, because there's going to be all these people behind you walking, trying to get around you.
If they have an automatic camera, it does very focused on you.
Yeah, exactly, because the auto cameras might focus on people behind you and stuff. And then of course you might get security people that come up to you and they're like, stop blocking the hallway! And you want to make sure that you move, like say this is the hallway, usually the corners or the side walls or something like that, so that you can get a wall behind you, and that way whenever your photo is taken, it's something neutral.
And it usually catches light, so it's great.
And it's not just a bunch of people. One time, now this wasn't at a con, but it's a perfect example. At the Renaissance Fair, I took a photo of a friend of mine. And we're like, oh, it's such a pretty photo, yay! But we didn't notice that there was a guy in the background. Mind you, we didn't notice until after the photos were taken, mounted, put on the wall. We're staring at him and we're like, wait a minute. There was a guy in the background pulling a wedgie out. And we're like, don't! Because we didn't move out of the way. We were just like in the middle of a bunch of like people all around and stuff. And I've seen it 100 times on the internet where,
Background check.
yes, there's this gorgeous outfit and the cosplayer's just standing there, but there's like all these people around her, like guys are like trying to shove their way around this like beautiful dress, and it's like, oh, why did you do it in the hallway? So just move to the side. Whenever you're in front of the camera, you want to pose so that your front is to the camera. Because a lot of times people will like, say like you have a weapon, they'll like do this with the weapon or something, or a gun, or a staff, or a scythe, or something like that. And all you're taking a photo of is the side of your body. Where most of the detail of your outfit is in the front. That's the part you want to present. But if you want to take like a pose, 3/4 rule, and your front shoulders are towards the camera. So you can kind of be like this, or something. So you still have all the detail. Usually with females, if you like turn just a little bit, it makes it a little bit slimmer in the photo. But you do want to present yourself, not like your side shoulder, like, oh, it's such a gorgeous shoulder, please take a photo of this. It's like you want your front to be towards the camera. Alright, so let's go back to the stage, because that's where the most amount of cosplay presentation happens, is on the stage. When you go on the stage, divide the stage into 3 parts. Take a pause at each one of the thirds. Take a pose. Go to the next third of the stage, take a pose, and then the last third of the stage, take a pose, and then go ahead and go off the stage.
Well, I mean, sometimes there are weird stages, like Ikkicon stage.
Oh yeah.
Last year, so I mean, you have a whole bunch of time before you're actually walking, where you're sitting there, falling asleep, doing nothing, or freaking out, listening to the person next to you freak out. Take that time to divvy up the stage into those 3 parts and see which parts will flatter you the most, and hit all the 3 center and side points, and mark them in your head for when you do them.
Ooh, also, the stage, so you know to stop at each of the third parts on the stage to take a pose, and then go off the stage. Also do it to the front of the stage. If, like, let's say the stage starts here and ends at the back of this wall, the most common thing people will do is they'll stay as far back away from the front of the stage as possible. They'll like pose, kind of run off stage. What ends up happening is you become further from the front of the stage, you become smaller to the people, you become harder to see as well. Also, for some weird reason, it like sometimes cuts off like bottom your feet and stuff, because when you're on a raised stage, you want to go to the front of the stage, as front of the stage as possible, and then present yourself. it really makes your entire presentation way more dynamic. It's just one of those little things that for some reason just makes your presentation pop.
It just says, I'm not afraid to be a character.
Right.
Here I am on the front of the stage sitting hanging out.
So this is the basics of just presentation. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to know like what you should do about going on stage, being out in the hallways and stuff like that? Any questions so far? No? Okay. Who here? Oh, go ahead.
I've noticed that a lot of times the lighting is just a day spot, usually you have to go to the spot where you actually well lit.
Yes, like she was saying, is whenever you're backstage and you're waiting, go ahead and try and pinpoint those locations
And
and
it
grab.
specifically mentioned lighting, but it's a huge factor.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that they'll be in the dark places or something.
Yeah, the general rule when you're doing that, because you won't really be able to see where the lighting is sometimes, the general rule is if you go on stage and you're blinded by light, you're in a good spot. Stay there, pose.
And then you can't see the audience and you're not scared anymore.
Yeah, you're just like, it's a void of darkness. You're like, this is great. And then move into the next area and you're like, oh, blinded again. And so that's a little good way to do it. Good point. Is anybody here planning on attending the contest? Okay. Are you going to be audience or is audience? Okay. Yeah, just keep a lookout for the people where they like run across the stage and you'll be like, oh.
That was me my first time.
And then look for the people who actually do go on, take their positions, you know, let the photographers take photos, take their poses, and continue on. And you'll notice a very distinct difference. And both of us have been and are judges for the cosplay contest, but we can tell you that is the number one thing we look at is did you present yourself on stage? If you did, you're already like in the runnings for being selected as a winner. If you don't present yourself, you're pretty much eliminated. That's how important it is. It's one of the things we use to just decide.
Because cosplay isn't just about making costumes and not about just being a character. You have to do both.
You have to be on stage to present your outfit. There's no point in making a gorgeous outfit if you're not even going to, show it, if you're not going to present it. And when you go on stage, you're expected to be able to show it all. And that's the whole point of cosplay presentation. Anything else? Any more questions? Anything about
Cowards on the
Okay. Well, here, I'll answer your question, and then I'll answer your question. Whenever...
Your moms come.
There are different entry categories. There's one called Walk-On Novice, and the Walk-On Novice is meant for beginners, and it's just a walk-on. It's where you basically are told everything you need to do, and you just go up on stage, you do your posing, and then you walk off. It's very quick, very easy, and it's the best way to start it. So if you ever do decide to enter into competition, just ask, I want to enter as a walk-on novice, and that will be the best category for you because they will help you out a lot. It's very easy, very quick. It's where everybody starts off.
Well, they have to.
Yeah, you have to, so it's good. And I can't really suggest much ways to like take the fear away, but
Do it.
just jump in and do it. Like when we both first went up on stage, it was like, whoo!
No, Brooke had to pretty much hold me a gun going to get this in.
And yeah, I remember my heart was all beating. It was like, oh my god! But bring a friend with you up on stage. It really helps out because you're there for your friend and your friend is there for you, and each of you wants to leave, but you don't want to leave because you don't want to leave the other person. So you end up like making both of yourselves go up on stage. It really helps out to bring a partner. It seemed like that's how you started off, right? With Brooke?
No, she kicked me on stage and sat in the audience. She was hurt, and that's why I didn't stop. And I kept running, and I made a bad pose.
Oh,
She went back.
I did go back. She came back the next time. I dragged her.
I think the first time I went up, I went with a friend. And then ever since then, I think I went on my own or something. I'll try to bring
Yeah, I
somebody
did
up
a lot
with
of
me.
solo stuff for a while.
Yeah. Did you have a question?
I just wanted to expand on one point about holding a prop or something, pointing at the camera
yes.
is bad because you'll end up with a shadow on your face from the flash.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know, hold it like this. If you want to have it with the camera, have it like off to the side a bit. Or if you want to do this, do it like this, not like this. Or you will look at pictures online and you'll see this big shadow in front of your face.
Also, some cameras don't have the world's greatest depth of field.
Oh my, that's not just
And what that means, what that translates to is the focus is either going to be on your face or on like your hands. It's not going to be on both. So either your fingers are going to be in focus and your face will be all blurry, or your face will be blurry. Your face will be in focus and your fingers will be all blurry. And it's like, oh, that was awful. So you want to be like on the same level playing field. Like with guns, whenever I take the photographs with like a weapon or something, I'll try to hold the weapon parallel to myself. So if it's a gun, I'll just hold it like this or like this or something. You know, you want to keep it on the same level playing field.
no, that's right.
Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's see, what else? Pretty much, unless you guys have any questions, that is the very basics, the gist of cosplay presentation.
So I want to get up here to the big one right now. We can talk.
Yeah. Do try to go to the cosplay contest and just keep an eye out for some of the things that we've talked about. While we're at it, let's just cover skits and audio and stuff like that. Okay, so we've talked about being in the con, we've talked about the walk-ons. The last thing is the skits. Let's go a bit more over that. What a skit is where you basically do like a little mini play, usually about 3, some cons have 4 minutes, some cons have 5 minutes. This con has a 3-minute time limit, and so long as you don't go over 3 minutes, you're good. You bring your audio. It is considered standard now to bring pre-recorded audio on a CD or some type of audio device, and you turn it in when you sign up. They'll play that audio, and usually it'll have music and your voices. And so you'll just lip sync while you're on stage, and that way everybody in the audience can hear you because you're coming out with the speakers. In the old days they used to have microphones, but that never worked out well. And then some cons didn't even have microphones, so you'd have like an audience of 1,000 people. Most of them can't even hear you because no one can project their voice to like 1,000 people in a huge auditorium. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Especially when you have music going.
Far more trained.
Yeah, the average cosplayer does not know how to project their voice. So bring your audio on a CD, you turn it in. When you're on stage and your audio starts, you want to give yourself about 5 seconds, give or take, where what some people do, like what I do, and nobody can tell that you're doing this. When you record your audio, have a beep, go like beep, to where only you'll catch it. Because nobody else is really paying attention. They'll be like, oh, I guess somebody's cell phone went off or something, you know? So it's a beep. And that lets you know that 5 seconds from now, you're about to start. And that will let you get like into your stance or something. So you'll know it's about to start. Because sometimes what we'll see is you'll have the skit go on stage, and then the audio will start out of nowhere, and they're like, oh, you know, we weren't in our correct positions or something, you know? And so they're scrambling to get to their areas while they're talking or lip syncing, and the audio's going on and stuff. So if you give yourself that little like beep, you know, it's like, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, what I thought that we could do, and you know, and you'll just start like into your skit, and in your head you'll just count down. So that little beep at the beginning is really useful. Also, it will allow you time to get your set ready, because some skits actually have props. They'll go up on stage with like a fake tree or a fake podium or chairs. And so the moment you go up on stage and your group is on stage, the audio guy in the back will probably hit like play or something, you know, because they don't know that you're ready or you're not ready, and you're on a time limit, so they're just like play, and your skit will start, and you're still carrying a chair. You go like, ah, you know, it started, and you start scrambling, and that little extra time limit will let you have a buffer time, especially if you have props. If you have props, set your buffer time to like 10 minutes or something. 10 minutes, I meant 10 seconds or something. But
People who are on stage know that
well, the people that are in skit with you, they'll know, but nobody on stage will know. Because you have to remember, there's about 100 entrants.
Right.
You are one in a vast sea of people that are going up on stage. They can't remember who has like 10 seconds of setup time or anything like this because the audio guy is not on stage with you. They're usually way in the back at the sound booth. And they have no way of knowing when you...
Question, how does it, like,
The moment that everybody goes on stage,
is somebody, a volunteer going, hey, go there and say your stuff up?
well, this is the way it happens. You have the MC. The MC is on the podium and they're calling out the entrant. They're like, entry number 23, something, something, something. They say the name, the audio guy hits play. So if your needs setup time, your skit's already started, your time's already started. So you have to like think about that and set up that extra time. Otherwise, your skit's already started.
So you're saying that whatever game that you play should be blank for 5 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you want like 5 seconds or 10 seconds of blank space on the CD that you make to give yourself setup time. Some cons, and this is the smaller conventions, the ones where like the room is smaller and you can usually do like hand gestures to the guy in the back, like start the audio or something. Some of those smaller cons will allow you like they'll do things like this to the audio guy, let you set up, and then they'll like do this to the audio guy. But at cons like Aikon, you can't do that. No, they're just like start. Yeah, that's exactly it. So to just, protect yourself, you just have that blank time at the beginning and so long as you don't go over the 3 minutes, you're good. So just make your skit like 2.5 minutes and you're great. That way you get yourself like a buffer of 30 seconds. Also, when you go off stage, you have to take time to get everything off because some cons won't count that as part of the time limit and some cons will. They'll be like, you took 4 minutes on stage, and you're like, but our skit is, the audio limit is only through 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And you're like, yes, but you took this much longer to set up and go off and therefore you're disqualified. Those are the crazy cons, like that won't be here. And that won't be at, some of the other smaller cons. They're more lenient, but at some of the bigger cons, they're, you're one in a sea of 200 entrants and they're just desperate to eliminate people. So just save yourself the trouble. But all in all, the best thing that we can suggest is just have fun with your presentation. Don't be so stoic about your character that it has to be dead on, perfect, spot on, and all this stuff. It's just have a good time. Pick a character if you can, one that you like that has cool personality traits. If you pick a character that has mean personality traits like your characters, try to find the funny thing in your character to try and expand on. It also helps to have a prop.
Yes.
It helps so wonderfully to have a prop. In random episode number 23, for 5 minutes, your character for some reason held a banana. Take that banana with you and just be like, hey, it's my prop. Do something so that in photography you can have something to hold on to pose with, to be cool with.
I just like doing this the whole time.
Yeah, there's so many photos of people who don't have props and they'll just sort of stand there, or maybe that, or kind of like that, or they'll do something cool. But if they have that prop, it helps complete the outfit. An outfit is generally considered your clothes, your wig, and a prop. That's the 3 parts to an outfit. And if you're missing one of those, it won't hurt you, but it won't help you. It does help you if you have all 3. It's just one of those things. Other than that, anybody else have any last questions? Any comments? Anybody gonna do anything later with presentation?
It's awkward, it's okay.
Yeah, just have fun with it. That's all we can say. Is just have fun with it. If you have fun with it, then mission accomplished. So I hope you guys enjoyed the very, very quick, brief, and awesome cosplay presentation panel. And yay! Okay, bye. All right. Yeah.